What's happening, connoisseurs? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Saturday, April 5th. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a great weekend. In this video, we're going to do another edition of Rapid Fire News, this time for the period March 29th to April 4th. And again, it's just a high-level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any videos such as this. I do it every week, and anytime I post new content, you'll be notified as well. And you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. IIPR, Innovative Industrial Properties, reports defaults by tenants. So they've been plagued. The stock has been absolutely destroyed, and with the broader market sell-off, definitely not helping. And we had a weekly bear flag on the S&P 500, weekly bear flag on IIPR, but not great. There's a lot of issues right now in the U.S. We're starting to see Canadian companies really start to turn a page, and unfortunately, the MSO gang calling, they didn't really learn anything, right? We've seen this, what the initial market was like in Canada, and the same thing is really happening in the US, and I would argue it might even be worse because there's way more competition in the US, and we're starting to see price compression and market saturation, and it's a very difficult landscape, especially with the lack of reform in the US. We're seeing bankruptcies left, right, and center. Companies are dropping like flies. And this has been really, it doesn't really leave them with a lot of options whenever these companies are going bankrupt, right? So that's why the stock has been taking a heavy hit. And Gold Flora was one of the ones that entered into receivership. So we'll see how that story plays out. Also, U.S. Congressional MJ Caucus co-chair says that rescheduling is stalled, but could still advance under President Trump. And there was some commentary, and we'll discuss that a little bit later, that it's not a priority right now. It's not really on the agenda. And I've been saying for a while now, some people are commenting on my videos, I thought you said it was going to happen in a year last year. And I said, there was a good chance of it. But you have to remember, we have a completely new administration. When you have a new administration come in, doesn't mean that they're not thinking about it. It just means that there's other priorities, right? And when you have a new administration come in, they have to get their feet under them. And, MJ's just not going to be at the forefront, right? We have way bigger issues. There's wars going on. There's, trade wars. There's physical wars. There's geopolitical tensions. There's big tech, crypto, AI, all of these things that need to be regulated as well, right? Look at crypto. We could see legislation by August is what they're trying to get accomplished. So once crypto regulation is done, once big tech, crypto, AI tops out, then I think we're going to see MJ become the focus. But as of right now, it's just exactly that. It's stalled, but I think it still could advance. I'm very hopeful of that. Also, Curaleaf's new hemp energy drink hits the market. So this is the Formula X. It's 10 milligrams. If anybody has tried this, please let me know. I really can't wait to try these. I wish they had them in Canada. They did acquire Northern Green Canada, so we'll see if they start to bring their products to Canada eventually. But they have two flavors, Glacial Melt and Rocket Pop. So if anybody's tried these, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know the effect. Let me know just overall satisfaction of the product. If you were to rate it 1 to 10, let me know in the comment section below. Also, Aurora is recognized for executive gender diversity. The Canadian MJ company is an honoree in the Globe and Mail's 2025 report on Business Magazine's 6th annual Women-Led Here list. So love to see that. Congrats to them. Also, MediPharm Labs reports full year and fourth quarter 2024 results. Annual net revenue increased 27% to $42 million. They got a boost from international sales as well, which we know aren't subject to those high excise taxes. Also, MJ Moment reports that Trump's new White House drug czar called Medical MJ a fantastic treatment for cancer patients. So this isn't new. All of us connoisseurs, we know that this is medicine of the future, and it's not just an alternative to alcohol and tobacco, some sort of recreational. And while it is a great recreational substitute, this is actually helping people for the better, right? It's medicine of the future, and they can't ignore the science, right? It's just a matter of when, not if. But like I said, MJ's just not in the spotlight right now. Also, Grown Rogue's 2024 sales climbed 16%, but their losses widen, and they did secure a US $7 million credit line for expansion initiatives. So the cultivator currently produces about 1,000 pounds of MJ flower per month. Expect that to ramp up dramatically. Also, Organigram joins the beverage race in the US with an acquisition, and that's Collective Project. That was a subsidiary of Collective Arts. You might have heard of them, and I've actually tried their craft beer. It's pretty decent, not my favorite or anything, but I think this is a great brand for them. They got some amazing flavors here that you can see on the screen. I'm not going to read them out in effort of time, but I already did a video on this as well. But I think this is a great acquisition. The total value, they paid approximately 6.2 million, but it could increase up to about 24 million. Overall, I think that's like chump change for where this industry is going. It's projected to be in the 20 to 30 billion range over the next decade or so. And I would say this is going to be one of the most popular formats because you're not going to be able to go to an NHL game or an NBA game. Maybe an NFL, you can go to the smoking area since it's outside and light up a J there. But, you're not going to be able to go inside like an NHL game, right? Or an NBA game. Once you go in, you can't leave. You can't smoke cigarettes. You're not going to be able to light up a joint, right? So, these beverages and edibles, beverages, they already sell tons of beverages there with alcohol. So it just makes sense. It'd be a little weird selling edibles, in my opinion, because, it's kind of enticing to kids and stuff. But people are already accustomed to seeing, cans from beer and whatnot. So I just think that makes a lot of sense. And I think this is going to be an absolute massive category. But not only does that jumpstart their entry into the US into the hemp-derived beverages, it's also in Canada as well. So they're going to have these products available in Canada. So I can't wait to try these. If anybody ends up trying them in the US, please let me know. You can order them directly on the website as well. But if you haven't tried them, I suggest you do. And if you do, please let me know what you think. And whenever I see them here in Canada, I'll definitely be jumping on it. I'm on a bit of a break right now. I'm almost 3 weeks in, no alcohol and no MJ whatsoever. So on a bit of a health cleanse here and trying to reset tolerances and all that stuff. It's never a bad idea to listen to your body and just focus on your health and your mind and just kind of resetting. It's important to hit the reset button sometimes. Also, Jones Soda keys in on three-pronged strategy with MJ playing a critical role. So the company reported 15% revenue for 2024 as leadership recalibrates its approach in a crowded hemp and MJ sector. So they did kind of post a loss there, but unfortunately, it's a very difficult market right now in the U.S. Look at all these companies. I think it was Trulieve that just launched Onward, their hemp-derived beverages. Green Thumb acquired the margarita, the Signorita brand. Agrify. So there's a lot of competition. We have OGI entering it now. Tilray, one of the leaders there as well. And I've heard really, really good reports about their products, the Happy Flower specifically. I heard it's fantastic. So, a lot of these Canadian LPs, and you got to think about it too, Canopy Growth with Wanderous, they've got so many options there on the Wanderous website, the e-commerce site. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. But they also own Acreage now and Jetty and Wana. So Canadian LPs are becoming MSOs. They're already doing it, right? Canopy under Canopy USA has Acreage, Jetty, and Wana. And then they also have we have all these companies with their hemp-derived beverages. So there's a lot of competition, not just for Jones Soda, but these other MSOs as well from these LPs. But in my opinion, there's enough market share for it to all go around. There's going to be a lot of consolidation still, right? There's going to be a ton of mergers and acquisitions at some point too. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Curaleaf and Tilray in a mega merger phase, in the blue chip phase, in the next, maybe 3 to 5 plus years. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if those companies were to merge. They have very overlapping businesses and a lot of synergies there. They play in a lot of the same markets, Canada, US, and abroad into Europe. So it makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. But the White House has no action planned on MJ, but Trump quietly pushes lawmakers on MJ banking, report says. I think that this makes a lot of sense, and I've been saying for a while now on this channel that we're not going to see any meaningful reform, massive reform in the U.S. until we get banking, right? You need to get the Wall Street banks, your JP Morgans, your Morgan Stanleys, your Goldman Sachs positioned first before they open the floodgates. And I think that's the first step. But also, it's just these archaic laws, right? You can't be. It's also dangerous for employees working at the MJ stores. You need to get off of cash, right? It's very dangerous for the workers, for the management, for the customers. And just join the 21st century. You can't buy MJ with a credit card in the U.S. It's ridiculous. You can't even buy it technically. You can't even buy it with debit. You have to go, and they treat it as an ATM transaction. So you're charged fees whenever you pay for it. So it's just absolutely asinine and ridiculous. It needs to change and join. Like, we've been almost 7 years legal at the federal level here in Canada. It's time to get with it, folks. In the U.S., it's getting a little ridiculous at this point. Canopy Growth strengthens its balance sheet with optional early repayment to reduce term loan by US $100 million. So I'd love to see that continuing to pay down that to save on interest. They're expected to reduce annual interest expenses by US 13 million, extends maturity of the term loan to September 2027. I think that it's possible that Canopy turns a profit in 2027. I would say it's more than likely going to be 2028 though. But yeah, the company, I heard some people saying, why not use this money to buy back shares? I think that might be, on the horizon. That might be a plan for the future. But getting rid of the cash burn and that interest on the debt, I think is paramount. Also, Canopy Growth and Spectrum Therapeutics announced Spectrum Reserve, a new premium medical MJ brand, as they continue to roll out their product line. Also, Green Thumb Industries set to hold first quarter 2025 earnings conference call on May 7th, 2025. So that will be on Monday, and that will be after the market closes on Wednesday, May 7th. And the conference call will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I mentioned this in my last week's video, but Tilray's going to be reporting on May 8th, April 8th. So yeah, that's May 7th. So yeah, that's next month. I was thinking it was Monday. Yeah, so Tilray's on Tuesday, April 8th, before market open. And I just posted a video on their earnings prep. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. I'll do my best to live stream the conference call as well. But yeah, this is May 7th, so it'll be Wednesday next month. So I'll be definitely covering these as well. And if you'd like to see a live stream of those, of that conference call, please let me know. Speaking of Tilray shifts cultivation of its flagship Canadian MJ brand and strain Good Supply Jean Guy to Masson facility in Quebec. And I actually visited this facility in Quebec, the Hexo facility, and I took a video of it. I did a documentary on it. So if you check my my channel, and you should be able to find it pretty easily, but I'll see if I can find it after and put it in the description of this video as well. But I believe they were growing vegetables in that facility because they acquired Hexo and Redecan, and they already had Afria and Tilray combined under one big mega company, right? So they didn't have the need for all of this. But now we're starting to see with international, the hemp, business in the U.S., and it's only going to get bigger, and eventually we'll have full-blown legalization in the U.S. All of these facilities will be able to be utilized to their highest capacity. But as of right now, we're starting to see demand pick up from international markets. So this is something that you love to see as well. And this is a state-of-the-art facility as well in Masson. So love to see that. Rubicon Organics revenue rises in 2024 with a successful vape launch. The company is moving ahead with the acquisition that will expand flower production by 40%. And they had their first international sale as well, as they continue to expand their global footprint. And Organigram changed their name from Organigram Holdings to Organigram Global in that shift of international expansion. Also, France, speaking of international, France advances plans to legalize medical MJ. And this has been a long time coming, but this was a 4-year campaign to launch fully regulated medical MJ framework, and it's finally being realized. And you have to remember that this is a very conservative country. So the fact that this is happening is a sign of the times. And in my opinion, so many people say that the U.S. is so behind, they're going to be left behind. Nuh-uh. The U.S. is never first, they're never last. They don't need to be, because when they decide to jump in full force, they will leapfrog every other country in a matter of months, because they just the amount of the economy, the amount of the GDP that they have, the amount of people that they have, the amount of capital that they have, they'll leapfrog everybody, right? So it's the biggest economy in the world, and it was the same thing with crypto. They're never first, they're never last, but look at them now. They're going full force on crypto, and it won't be long before they're one of the leaders for sure. This isn't great. I would be very, very cautious with AYR. I have a bad feeling about it. AYR Wellness shakes up management again. They appointed a new interim CEO, and if this doesn't make you cringe, if it said appointed a new permanent CEO, I would be a little bit more at ease. But the fact that we had an interim CEO and they're appointing a new interim CEO, I would be very, very cautious with this company, folks. I don't know if they're going to pull through. They're exiting out of certain states in the U.S. and getting out of certain states and focusing on Florida. I don't know if that's a great idea. We know that Trulieve is basically the champ there, and there's a lot of price compression. There's a lot of competition. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this company and being able to make it long term. Maybe they get acquired, but it would more than likely be for pennies on the dollar. But I would more than likely expect some sort of stalking horse bid or some sort of claim on their assets through some sort of procedure with regards to receivership, or we'll see what happens, but not looking good. The MJ Company's management change comes as Stephen M. Cohen steps down as the interim CEO. And you might have recognized that name, Stephen M. Cohen. He's actually on the board of Tilray Brands. So, yeah, this isn't good. This is unfortunate. I know a ton of people have said they're down just on AYR in the last, since April, and really since Florida Amendment 3 and legalization failed. It's down 95%, I think, in just a very short period of time. So it was at $3 or $4, and we just had a daily bear flag, 15 cents target. And I think we just dropped down below 20 cents there not too long ago. So seen better days for sure, and just be very, very cautious on that name. Hope I'm wrong, but when my gut tells me something, it's usually right 95% of the time. All right, going in it there. Once again, it's Rod with POW Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. Happy Saturday. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there, and we'll see you on the next video.